She was a ruthless warrior lord who conquered territories at will and had thousands of soldiers at her command. But one day, her sword broke. They called her the Iron Leopard, a name whispered in fear across 5 kingdoms. She had never lost a battle or shown mercy. Her beauty was legendary: high cheekbones, skin like polished mahogany, eyes that could make grown men weep. But her heart. They said it was forged from the same iron as her blade. She had built an empire on the bones of those foolish enough to oppose her. Her sword, forged at 16 from metal of her first 100 conquered weapons, was an extension of her will. Until the day it shattered. It happened at the execution grounds of Zambola. She raised her sword and brought it down upon the wooden block to signal the beginning. The blade exploded into 7 pieces. Silence swallowed the valley. 10,000 warriors dropped to their knees. The governor wept, convinced the ancestors had intervened. But the Iron Leopard's face revealed nothing. She simply stared at the shattered metal, then said, "I will forge another." Her commander approached, trembling. "My queen, we have master blacksmiths in the capital." "No. I forged that sword with my own hands. I will forge its successor myself. But I need the finest teacher in all the lands." "Find them." It took 3 weeks of searching across 5 territories. The answer came from the most unexpected place, a blacksmith named Kofi in the peaceful village of Kaluma, who was known for one impossible thing: he refused to work for royalty. The Iron Leopard rode south with 20 guards. The village offended everything she'd built her empire upon. No walls. No soldiers. Elders laughed under shade trees. She found the forge at the village edge. A man stood hammering, his back to her, completely unbothered by her arrival. "I am the Iron Leopard," she announced. "I command 10,000 warriors. I need you to teach me to forge." The hammering continued. Her jaw tightened. "I am not accustomed to being ignored." The man finally stopped. Then he turned. He was younger than she expected, perhaps 30, with steady hands. "I know who you are," he said calmly. "The woman who burned Korundi to ash for insulting your envoy. Then you understand you cannot refuse me." "I forge tools that give life," he said, gesturing to farming implements in the corner. "Not weapons that take it. So yes, I can refuse you." No one had said no to her in 15 years. Something flickered in her chest, not anger, but something stranger. "I will teach you on 3 conditions," he said. "Speak them." "First, come alone. No guards within sight of this forge." Her commander moved forward, but she stopped him. "Second, follow every instruction without question. In this forge, I am master. You are student." No one spoke to her this way. But she needed this sword. Afterward, she'd teach this blacksmith respect. And the third. Kofi met her gaze. "You must create something that gives life before you forge something that takes it." "Impossible. I need a weapon. Those are my conditions." He turned back to his anvil. "Decide by sunrise. I'll return at dawn." She left already planning his punishment. She arrived the next morning as promised, though her army camped just beyond the village. "Put on the apron," Kofi said without looking up. "Then stop the fire." She stared at him. "I am the Iron Leopard. I cannot do that. In this forge, you are a student." Soon, she told herself. Soon this humiliation would end. He had her forge nails. Her first attempt was crude. He showed her again, patient and methodical. By midday, her hands blistered. Then the sky darkened. The first raindrop hit her face like a slap. Suddenly, she couldn't breathe. She was 8 years old again, watching her father's execution in the rain. The mud. Blood mixing with water. His eyes finding hers before. "Student." Kofi's voice cut through the memory. "Look at me." She was shaking. The hammer had fallen. I can't, her voice cracked. He stepped closer, grounding. His hand, rough from the forge, rested on her shoulder. Breathe with me, he said quietly. In. Out. Something in his voice reminded her of her father. But the way her heart leaped at his closeness, that was something else entirely. That night, she couldn't stop thinking about the weight of his hand on her shoulder. How something so simple had felt like being held together. The days blurred into weeks. He taught her to forge her blades. She hated it at first, the indignity of creating farming tools when she commanded armies. But slowly, something shifted. Old Omar's grandmother brought them water one afternoon. Bless you, Master Kofi. And bless your student too. The hoe she made will feed my grandchildren. After the woman left, the Iron Leopard stood very still. Genuine gratitude was strange. Kofi looked at her with no judgment. Every day is a chance to choose differently. She thought about that while she walked. And she thought about him. The way he moved with quiet confidence. The strength in his shoulders. How his eyes twinkled when he smiled at village children. One morning, she caught herself watching him longer than necessary. Wondering what his hands would feel like against hers. She shook the thought away violently. She was the Iron Leopard. She didn't feel these things. But the thoughts kept coming. When their hands accidentally touched reaching for the same tool, electricity shot through her. She arrived earlier each day, stayed later, invented reasons to hear his voice. What is this? She asked herself. What is this shallow, stupid feeling? She'd bedded men before, strategic alliances, brief pleasures. But this was different and terrifying. She was falling for a blacksmith who'd seen her break and hadn't looked away. The realization should have terrified her. Instead, it felt like coming home. It happened on the 20th day. They were walking side by side, their rhythm synchronized. She was finally forging her sword, the meteorite still shimmering under her hammer. She glanced at him and found him already watching her. Their eyes met. The world narrowed to just the two of them, the heat of the forge, the thundering of her heart. Then a voice called from outside. Kofi. A beautiful woman appeared, her warm eyes beaming with a bright smile. Adana. Kofi's face lit up in a way she had never seen. He crossed the forge in 3 strides and pulled the woman into his arms. She laughed and hugged him back, pressing close, their bodies familiar with each other. Her grip tightened on the hammer until her knuckles turned white. The walls she'd let down began rising again, brick by brick. Come, meet my student, Kofi said, turning with his arm around the woman's shoulders. This is my sister, Adana. She's been trading in the coastal cities. Sister. The word hit her like a physical thing. Sister. Adana glanced between them, her eyes sharp and knowing. A slow smile spread across her face. Sister, she emphasized, meeting the Iron Leopard's gaze. Only sister. That evening, they finished the sword. The meteorite blade lay on the anvil, glowing faintly, perfect and deadly and beautiful. You have learned well, Kofi said quietly. You created life before taking it. You are ready. She looked at the sword, then at him. I learned more than forging, she said softly. Kofi stepped closer. So did I. His hand found hers, rough palm against rough palm equals, scarred by the same fire. I love you, he said simply. I have since the day you chose to stay, to learn, to let me see you break and still return. The Iron Leopard, warrior, conqueror, commander of armies, felt tears slide down her cheeks. I don't know how to do this, she whispered. I only know how to destroy. Then we'll learn together, Kofi replied, wiping her tears with his thumbs. The same way you learn to forge. One day at a time. She had come seeking a weapon. She found a forge that retempered her soul. As the sun set behind them, painting the sky in shades of gold and fire, The Iron Leopard kissed the blacksmith, who taught her that the strongest thing she could ever create was a life worth living. The sword hung on the wall, unused. Instead, she forged plows. She forged hoes. She forged tools that built instead of destroyed. And when she finally rode out again, she carried both, the sword at her side, the tools on her saddle. The power to destroy. The choice to create.